Hurricane Kiko headed towards Hawaii, severe weather for the upper Midwest and Northeast, and we also had flash flooding again for Arizona. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is September 4th, 2025. So going all the way down to the Pacific, we have Hurricane Kiko, which is a Category 4 and 145 mile per hour sustained winds. The National Hurricane Center has issued its predicted path, and it may be really close to Hawaii by 8 p.m. on Monday. But it is predicted that this hurricane will weaken by the time it gets closer to Hawaii to a Category 1 or maybe even a tropical storm. Because as this hurricane reaches more north in terms of latitude, the sea surface temperatures are a lot lower. And as Kiko gets closer to the islands, there is a low pressure north of Hawaii and a high pressure east of Hawaii. And there's a little bit more shear, which hurricanes do not like, but this will also help drift the hurricane a little bit more north and east. And hopefully we'll avoid the island altogether. But it's still 4 to 5 days out, so we'll have a much better idea by this weekend to see what the projected path is going to be. And so speaking of the Pacifics, we do have Hurricane Lorena, which is still a Category 1 and headed to Baja California. And with the help of a surface high pressure in Arizona, but also a mid-level high, it's pulling in a little bit of that moisture from the hurricane to Arizona. The Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk, or 2 out of 4, in both California and Arizona for flash flooding. There are isolated areas that could see 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, and this may happen around 1 p.m. Mountain Time. There's also a marginal risk for flash flooding in the west in general too, and you can expect isolated storms around 1 p.m. Mountain Time, where that's 12 p.m. Pacific. And with that being said, places like Oregon do have a fire risk today for isolated dry thunderstorms where lightning may pose a risk. Other marginal flash flood risks include Florida and the Tennessee Valley. And for South Florida specifically, you can expect isolated to scattered storms pretty much all day and all night, and you may see rainfall totals up to 3 inches or greater. And now talking about severe weather, we only have a marginal risk, or 1 out of 5, from the upper Midwest and also from the Tennessee Valley to the Northeast. And what that entails is that both marginal risk areas have a 5% chance of seeing an isolated wind event up to 60 miles per hour, but places like the Tennessee Valley may see isolated hail. From the Tennessee Valley to the Northeast, you may already be seeing some showers from last night, this morning, and afternoon, but things are going to start ramping up around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. And for the upper Midwest, it's almost a similar story where you guys are seeing showers this morning and afternoon, and things are going to start ramping up around 4 p.m. Central time. And this is all due to really strong cold fronts that's providing a lot of surface lifts, especially to the northeast of the Tennessee Valley, where it's pursuing into an area where there's warm and moist and already an unstable environment. Something I do want to point out is we do have a low pressure in the northern plains right now, and accompanied that is another cold front. And with this cold front, it's bringing in a lot of cool air from the north. Though this cold front is not necessarily heading into a very moist environment, so we're not going to see a lot of storms happen, but we're going to see a lot of changes in temperature, which is going to produce a lot of wind. So when you have a really strong temperature gradient, that's going to cause a really strong pressure gradient, which then is going to cause a lot more wind. So we're going to see wind speeds up to 30 to 40 miles per hour sustained winds in places like Montana, Wyoming, Dakotas, and even northern Nebraska. And if we look at 500 millibars of midway of the troposphere, we have this really large and broad trough, and it's really directing all that cold air from the north to these areas, while also providing really great shear, which is going to tilt those updrafts, prolong the storms, and also vorticity, which is going to help spin those updrafts and provide more upward motion. And that's why we have